Hello, class receiving students and teachers. You may be seated. Now, class, in the previous lesson, we looked at machines. We looked at machines. As usual, we have to recall of what we looked through in the previous lesson. Now, I'd like someone to tell me what machines are. What are machines? If I can have Trisha, please.
A machine is anything simple or complicated which makes it easier to do work with less effort.
Very good, thank you. Now, we also looked at the different types of machines. There are 6 different types of simple machines. If I can have Tassie to tell us the names of those 6 different types of machines.
Levers, pulleys, wheel and axle, inclined planes, screws and weights.
Very good, thank you. Now, I'd like us to have a look at what I have. Class and the receiving students. Now, I have a pair of scissors. You all know what it is, and you all know what it's used for. I'd like someone to tell me what type of simple machine is this. This is a pair of scissors. That's the name it's called. But what type of simple machine is this? And what is it used for? Yes, Linda?
Wedge, and it's used for cutting. Split it.
We use it for cutting. And what type of simple machine did you say?
Wedge.
A wedge. It can be a wedge, and also, anybody who can tell me? It can be a wedge or William.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. It can be a wedge or a lever. Now, that leads us to our lesson topic, which is levers. We've already had a look at levers in one of those 6 simple machines. And you have been told of a definition of what levers are. Now, if I can have Shane to tell us what levers are. Receiving students, you can also tell your teacher what levers are. What is a lever, or what are levers?
Levers are simple machine which stands about a fixed point called a pivot.
Very good, thank you. Now, Shane, in his answer, he made a mention of the word pivot. Okay, now we will be basically looking at pivot, or what is called fulcrum. If I can have everyone to look this way. We once again look at this pair of scissors that we looked at earlier. Now, we look at the part of the scissors that is the pivot or the fulcrum. Now, when I open this pair of scissors, and if you look closely, you will see a round thing that is red, part of the scissors that is red. Now, that is called the pivot or the fulcrum. Okay, this enables the scissors or the pair of scissors to move around the blade, to move around and do whatever work it's supposed to do. Now, I'd like us to have a look at the definition. It says a pivot or a fulcrum is a small object, such as a bar or pin. I've shown you that receiving students in class on that pair of scissors, that supports a large object and lets it turn or swing. Now, another, we can say the point on the support which a lever turns. Now, if you can get that quickly done in your workbooks. Now, class and the receiving students, we will also be, whatever we are going to go through during the lesson, we will also be looking at words like effort and load. Now, I'd like us to have a look at what effort is and load. In a simple machine, just like the pair of scissors that you have seen, there is a part that is used as an effort or an effort where force is applied. And also, there is another part in the simple machine where load is loaded. Whatever you want to use is loaded. Now, a definition there says effort in a lever is part of a simple machine where force is applied, and load in a lever is part of a simple machine where load is loaded. Whatever you want to use is loaded. Get it also copied in your workbooks, please, receiving students. I'm going to move over here so it's okay. Now, there should be enough time for you to get those notes copied in. Now, there are three different types of levers, so we say they are put into three classes or three groups. We have the first class lever, the second class lever, and the third class lever. A pair of scissors is one of the simple machines or a lever that is in a first class. Now, I'm going to show you what a simple machine or a lever, the parts of a lever, the first class lever, and I'd like you, the receiving students, as well as the teachers, to take note. Now, first class lever, I want us to have a look at the scissors again. Where I'm holding, that is known as the effort. That is where the force is applied. You use your hands to apply force to do what you want to do. So this is where the effort is. We apply force where the handles are. Now, that pivot is able to make this pair of scissors move. So here we have the effort. We have the fulcrum, which is in the middle, and the load. This part holds the load. Okay, I'll go through once again. We have the effort, the fulcrum, and the load. It would look like this if I am using real objects. Now, I'll show you what I mean with first class lever. Just like you have seen in a pair of scissors, we have effort. Okay, this is where my effort, I'm going to apply my force to try to lift the load. And the fulcrum is in the middle. Okay, the effort, fulcrum is in the middle, and the load. Thank you. If I can have you to get that note on first class levers quickly. The fulcrum is between the effort and the load. You have just seen that. The second class lever, an example I have is this bottle opener. The bottle opener belongs to the second class lever. Now in here, I have the force, the effort. Okay, this is where force is applied. Okay, then I have the weight. Now, if I am to open a bottle, that bottle or the load will be in the middle here. Okay? And the fulcrum is at the side. Okay, I will just show you. Okay, I have the opener. We have the effort where I apply my force. Okay, I have the load in the middle. Okay, now if you look at it, the fulcrum is at the end. So the bottle opener goes between the lid and the bottle, and the fulcrum supports and is able to help the whole opener to open the bottle or the lid. Now let me show you quickly. Here this time we have, that's my effort, where I'm applying my force. Okay, this time we have the load in the middle. And we have the fulcrum at the end. I want you to take note of that, receiving students. We've just seen the first class lever, and this is the second class lever. Thank you. If I can have you to get that short note copied quickly. Second class lever, the load is between the fulcrum and the effort. That time should be enough for you to get that note copied in. Now, our last class lever, which is the third class lever, receiving students and the class. This is an example of a third class lever, a stapling machine. Now, if we look at the stapling machine closely, we will see that the fulcrum is at the end there. Okay. The effort in the middle where the force is applied, and the load at the end. So when we open it, you see it's able to move around. The fulcrum is at the end. That's an example of a third class lever. Now we will once again look at an example showing using extra load. We have, okay, we have the fulcrum at the end, the effort, or where I apply the force, is in the middle, and the load at the end. So I will have to try to lift the load up in the middle. That's where the effort is. Effort is in the middle, fulcrum at the side, and the load at the end. I hope you have taken note of those 3 different classes of levers. Have that copied in your workbooks as well, please. Okay, activity. We put it at the side and we'll go to the next. Now our activity for this lesson teaches, we will be using the Strategy Workstations. Now, in this activity, we have 5 workstations. In each workstation, there are simple machines or levers that have been put in each of these workstations. And there are certain activities that students will be doing when they move around from workstation to workstation. Now, our first instruction says, in your groups, this is to you, the students. In your groups, you move from one workstation to the next till you end with the levers you started with. Now, fill in the table as you do each activity. Students and teachers, I'd like you to take note as well as the class. You will see in your worksheets what you have in the worksheet. On that table, we have about 9 activities. Now, because of time factor, we had to leave the other 4 out, and we're only doing 5 of them. Teachers, you can carry out the other 4 activities in your own time. But for this lesson, we will be carrying out 5 of them. Now, teachers, there is one activity that we just included, which is to remove pins from the wood. We have added that one on, so teachers, I'd like you to take note of it. Now, class and the receiving students, in your worksheets, you should have a table like this. And in the first column, you have the activities. Every workstation, there is activity for you to do. These are the activities you are going to do from group 1 all the way to group 5. Now, the second column says using yourself. This is where you are going to try your best to try to do the work yourself. You don't use any machine that is there. The third column, you are going to use the lever that you have in that workstation. And the last column, you write down the lever that you have used to help you to do the work. Now, class, this is how we are going to move. Take note. Group 1, you listening? Now, group 1, you move. Once you finish, you move to 2, okay? 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 1. That is how you are going to move around. You move around until you finish. When you end up at your table. Now, I'd like us to have a look at the third instruction. It says, discuss your findings and write a summary about it. Once you have completed all the activities and you return to your groups or your tables, you are to discuss together what you have just done and have a summary written up as a group, not individual. Okay, are we all ready? Now, if I can have you, all your workbooks and your worksheets, put them together on one chair and we'll start. Okay, you are all given 2 minutes. 2 minutes to move from station to station, workstation to the next. So we all start now. Where is your worksheet? Somebody should have yours so you all get it one done. Yours is this one here. Cut a piece of cloth. What's that?
No, it's okay. We cut it. It's easy to use.
Maybe because the fabric is old, worn out. Okay, you finish yours. You are going to leave the others. That's for the other groups. Yours is already done. Move to the next workstation. Don't forget you have to try it yourself. Try yourself. If you cannot, then you use the lever that is there. Once you get to your groups, you shouldn't wait for the others. You start together and get things done. Try it yourself. You are group what? Move to the next workstation. This should be our third. Done quickly. You should get it done. Okay, we move to the next workstation, our second last workstation. Have you tried it yourself? Yes, already. Okay, we move to the last station, the last workstation. Yeah, from your group, somebody should get ready for.
From group 1, because in the previous lesson we group 2 went inside.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you can. So now what are you going to do? You use a lever. Okay. Okay, thank you. Moving back to our places. Tulanga. Students in the receiving school, that's what you should be doing also in your classes. Now, before we have our friends from group 1 and 2 to give us the summary, I'd like us to go through the table together. Receiving students, please, you also do the same with your teacher. Now, our table, we have 1 to 5 activities we did. And the first column says using yourself. To pull a nail out of the wood. Messi, were you able to do that yourself?
No, it was difficult.
It was difficult. So we say, let's just look through the others quickly before we can come to using a machine. To remove the top of the bottle, Rachel?
It was difficult.
Difficult. Cut a piece of wire. Let's have Paul D. Cut a piece of wire.
Difficult.
Difficult. Cut a piece of cloth. Let's have Elisa.
Difficult.
Difficult. It was difficult to cut. Remove pins from the wood. Let's have Terence.
Difficult.
Difficult. Using a machine. Using a machine. Let's have Aloysia.
Easy.
Easy. Now, if I can have the class to tell us, instead of us going through all of them, what do you say about from 2 right down to 5 activities? Easy. Okay, it was all easy. Now the tool, the machine we use, the tools or the machine we use, Patricia, pull a nail out of the wood.
Hammer.
Hammer. Raymond, the second one, remove the top of the bottle.
Bottle opener.
Thank you, bottle opener. cut a piece of wire. Let's have oven.
Pliers.
Pliers. Cut a piece of cloth. Let's have melon.
Scissors.
Pieces. Remove pins from the wood. Brendan?
Staple pin remover.
Okay, so we just say pin remover. Thank you. Now, you have been asked to discuss quickly and come up with a summary. If I can have group 1, Violet, please. Violet, you can stand where you are and give us your summary of the whole activity you've done.
We found out that using our own effort to do the activities was difficult than using simple machines.
Very good, thank you. So we find that we ourselves, if we want to do any work, it's difficult. But once we use simple machines or levers, we find it easier to do our work. Now, summary. 1, types of levers depend on the positions of the fulcrum, the effort, and the load. Two, fulcrum enables a lever to turn and swing. Without the fulcrum, the lever cannot turn or swing. 3, levers make work easier, and that is what you have just found out. You found that one out during your activity in this lesson. Now let's have Regina to give us our key phrase, please. Regina.
Levers.
Levers. Thank you. Okay. Levers making work easier. Now, our next lesson, teachers in the receiving school, it's going to be on the law of lever. And the materials that you will need are listed there. I'd like you to take note of it. And with that, thank you, class, the receiving students, and teachers.